welcome to Geektopia. My name is Adam Carruthers, and as I say every single week, we have little segments within Geektopia to separate everything, to segregate everything, so it's easier to just look for, really. This is Geek Squad, where we get people involved, absolutely anybody. Now, that includes you. Any recommendations you might have, and I noticed there have been quite a few coming in, we will watch it, and then we will discuss it, but not just amongst ourselves. We want you and your friends involved along the way to tell us why you liked or disliked said piece of content. So for this week, we have Aaron, who hasn't dressed up. We have Hadis, who hasn't dressed up. We have me, I haven't dressed up. We have, for the very first time, Sarah Lian. Hello. I can't hear you.
Hi.
Ah, there you go. Lovely jubbly. And we have someone that's played dress up. You can tell who he is because he has a big ass head. It's Puppy Zach. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up?
Looking good. This is your best look yet, I have to say, because I can only see your eyes. Okay, the film which we reviewed is the latest Mortal Kombat movie. Mortal Kombat is a video game franchise that started in the early 90s. I grew up playing it, all the various versions. There have been a couple of movies, which are cult favorites, I would say, particularly the first one. There have been TV shows, an animated TV show, a web series, and now we finally get the big reboot. And straight up, I'm gonna say I enjoyed it. So Sarah, since you're new here, did you like this movie?
I would say I gave it like a 7.5.
Cool.
So it was okay. It wasn't like mind-blowing. It was like, all right, I give it to you on different aspects. So just to kind of stay with that, yes.
Hadis, yourself,
Yes.
did you enjoy the movie?
Yes, I think I agree with Sarah. I also give it 7.5 for this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is surprising.
I remember my brother had this PlayStation, I think was the earliest one, was silver color, and then the CD was like, you know, you pop it and you open the CD and then you can place your CD in there and close it. So I remember playing on that PlayStation with my brother. I get to like experience it like as a child, like sitting there, like pressing all the buttons possible. And I remember the character that I always play is Sonya Blade.
Yeah, it was a big role in the movie, of course.
Yeah.
Aaron, you're a bit younger than Sarah and myself, and definitely younger than Zach. What about you?
I loved it. It's really enjoyable. I think it did justice, and I like the fatality moment when they fight.
Oh yeah.
It's really when he cut off the head during this. Oh, that was pretty dope. And then I love the character of Scorpion.
Get over here!
And I love the actor Hiroyoku. So he plays in The Last Samurai, the 47 Ronins, and I feel like he's the most suitable character for Scorpion. The whole opening scene just kept me like, I was like, oh yeah, hooked already, straight up hooked. You know, in Japan, and then it was very, very cool to me.
Little bit of disclosure with Zach. He had messaged me because the film came out in Malaysia before a lot of the rest of the world, including the US, and it was released as on digital in the same day as the cinema in America. But Zach messaged me straight away. In fact, he asked me to go to the premiere, said I couldn't make it, and then you messaged me and went meh for Mortal Kombat. But it was censored here in the cinemas. So have you changed your mind, Zach, about Mortal Kombat? Because I know you rewatched it.
All right. So this is coming from a place of deep love, deep appreciation of video game movies. All right. And no, my decision is still it's a shit movie. It's you know, the 1995 version, you know, at least it was campy, but it was fun to watch. And then this one, they're trying to be like, oh, we're take us seriously, bro. We're serious. And with our fatalities and uncensored R-rated rating on the movies, it still sucks.
Why?
Okay?
Why do you think it sucks? Because it's taking itself too seriously.
It was taking itself too seriously, and I mean, I know producers like to take like liberties when it comes to like video game stories, right? And they could have gone every which way except for this way, you know? Because first of all, you start off great, and like Aaron said, you go behind the backstory of the rivalry between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Great, got me hooked, right? And then you go off on this tangent with this guy, Cole Young. You're like, who the fuck is Cole Young? Nobody's relating to this guy because he is not a playable character in any of the Mortal Kombat games. So they took a few liberties by making him his arcana is like, oh, he's got a metal body with little tongue fuzz. That's his thing. Come on.
I just want to say that I stalked Sarah's Instagram the other day just to see if she's put up anything about this, and she has this thing on Mondays. I think it's Hotmail Mondays or something.
That's right.
And Louis Tan is who exactly, Sarah? And you shared a picture of him, right?
Yeah, I think you need to read that caption, Adam.
Oh, I need to. Okay, I'm gonna reread it. I'm gonna reread it.
Caption. Actually, Zach, while Adam looks, I'm gonna add on to what you said. Yeah, right in the beginning, I was totally hooked. Even up until the point where Cole goes to Sonya Blade's house, and then I just like, okay, I can't. I'm out. Because you know what she reminded me of? She reminded me of Hermione, that she's just a muggle. Like she just wants to be a part of the thing, and she wasn't real. Like you don't have the thing, but you're into it, and that's what they're fighting. I was just like, I'm sorry, I'm out. So I checked out, and then I was looking more at the action scenes, which I thought was very valid because they got a lot of really great fighters and stuff. So I thought that was actually quite enjoyable. And then it just got really corny, but not the corny, which is like the 1995 version corny. It's like just like trying too hard, but not realizing you're corny. That was a sad thing. But did I sort of enjoy it? Yes, I did like how they tied in different characters with each other and creating that backstory. I haven't seen the old movie in a long time, so I don't quite remember. But I think the development of, is it Bishan, and Scorpion and that legacy thing was good. But yeah, so Adam, do you have my Hotmail Mondays post?
I do. I'm looking at it right now. So Louis Tan Official, at Louis Tan Official, has totally redefined the meaning of finish him. If you know, you know, and then the little devil face. So you're obviously a fan of Louis Tan. So that's probably added that 0.5 to your 7.5 scoreline. Am I right? I mean,
well,
to be fair, he looked good. But from an acting standpoint, it was like, come on, like it was just a bit of a try hard.
But yeah, I mean, he did all his fight scenes. Which I think was a huge plus point. But I think it's interesting you bring up Sonya and not having the mark on her arm, right? Because if you remember in the games, Jax, Sonya, their abilities were not supernatural in any sense. They were enhancements. Technology was used to enhance their abilities, like what she can shoot out of her arms and Jax's arms. So I guess they're trying to have it make sense why people would be able to shoot fireballs and stuff like that. And even Kano's eye was more of a cybernetic thing rather than something supernatural. Zach, surely that makes sense for you in some way, doesn't it? They're trying to redefine it.
The fact that Kano was like a supposed good guy or teamed up with the good guys, that was just like, come on.
He betrayed them.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, he betrayed them, but still.
It was just annoying. It was like, I can understand the archetype that he's supposed to represent, like the comic relief, the skeptic, you know, but it was just, it fell flat.
Was he funny, Sarah?
No.
He wasn't funny for you.
Like that annoying Aussie.
Okay.
Not saying that Aussies are annoying. I'm just saying.
No, Sarah. This is a safe space. You can say.
One of Zach's best friends is Australian, who I now talk to on a regular basis as well. So if you don't tell him you said that, Zach, okay?
No. We say he is very annoying.
Fair enough. Hadis, did you like Kano? Because a lot of people, I went online to look up reviews, and he was seen as a plus point in the movie, putting in the one-liners, putting in the funny aspect of the script.
I think he's not so funny, but he does add a bit of like maybe comic relief to the movie, but it's not your favorite character. So from the beginning, it's like, it's not a character that you will side with him, because from the beginning when he starts like, you know, like annoying Sonya in the whole like room they were, so you feel like, yeah, he wants to stand out, but he's not like funny.
Not funny. He reminded me of Stifler from American Pie.
But you know, he
in an action movie.
He reminds me of like I can't remember his name, but if you watch the Suicide Squad, the guy who always carried the toy unicorn with him.
Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney, the Australian Boomerang. Captain
Yes,
Boomerang.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he does a bit remind me of him, and it's a bit annoying.
Okay. And we're joined now by Chief Jantan TL, who, fingers crossed, will actually have decent internet for the first time in his life.
I'm using my phone, so it should be good.
Why don't you do this before? Why are you only doing this now? Come on. Step up your game, man. Step up your game. I also want to ask, because you brought up Raiden, and he's played by an Asian actor for the first time, as a matter of fact, not to knock Christopher Lambert or James Remar from Sex and the City, because they played Raiden in the original movies.
Oh my God, I remember.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because Sarah, you've dipped your toe into the Hollywood scene, and what do you think of the movie actually having Asians in it, and not just American Asians, but people from Singapore, like we mentioned, Shang Tsung? Do you think this is a good step forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ludi has been in a lot of shows. I don't know if you recognize him, right? So he was in like Netflix. There was like one about the Piranha Cons. I forgot the story now, but it was like this
Ghost Bride.
Yes, the Ghost Bride. So he was in that.
Aquaman.
He was in Aquaman. He was also
Black Mirror.
There was it the Black
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror, yeah.
Black Mirror.
Oh,
Mirror in that
no.
that interesting episode.
That's why Zach and I play video games together, but go on.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So,
Hey, I'm the guy, okay?
yeah. But, absolutely. I love that Joe Taslim, I think he's Indonesian. Ludi, I think his family's from China, but he grew up in BC. And then we've got Japanese actors. I think it's about time that there is a lot more representation, and it's authentic, right? Like it feels authentic, and they were speaking Chinese. So it's kind of nice to have that kind of spelled out, especially when you have names like Kung Lao, Shang Tsung, like these are Chinese names. And so it's good to see that out there.
Yeah, I agree. And Hiroyuki Sanada, Zach, I know you grew up in Japan. You're much more in touch with Japanese culture. You speak Japanese. Do you know who he was before the movie? Because they did artwork before he was even cast. The fans did artwork of him as Scorpion before he was even announced or cast in the role. That's how much they wanted him.
No, I think they wanted Joe Taslim even before, like as Sub-Zero before.
And Joe Taslim, yeah.
So, but I watched his work in The Last Samurai, and very, very impressed as like the guy who didn't believe in Tom Cruise's journey and stuff like that. But I'm glad to see that Hollywood is slowly progressing and like not being so whitewashed, Ghosts in the Shell.
Can I also ask, going back to Mortal Kombat, for you, Aaron, because you're a bit younger than most of us here, did you feel nostalgic watching it?
Yeah, I enjoy it, but Papi Zach brought up a really, really good point. Why certain characters are not supposed to be there? I mean, like, and I feel like Liu Kang is very not OP enough. He plays like he feels like a bit weak, in my opinion.
But that's how he is in like, if you remember the original movie, Kung Lao is killed and he sees it. That's right at the beginning. So suddenly he has to fill the role of being like the hero of everything. I think it kind of makes sense, so doesn't it, that he is supposed to be a bit underpowered and then
only, yeah. I think he should like talk more about him and put him in the spotlight rather than he's like a side character. I feel it's just
who the fuck is Cole Young?
Exactly.
Well, there's no redeeming factors about Cole Young for you. What about his own action sequences? Put aside that the character doesn't exist in Mortal Kombat lore prior to the movie. What about his action scenes? What about his fight against your twin brother Goro?
Oh yes, that was totally fixed. Because in any real life situation, Goro would have like broke his ass. Yeah,
tear him apart.
He had to. My inner Arcana puts me a gold body armor. That's why I can defeat Goro. Oh,
He would have been like, finish him.
yeah.
Finish him.
You could have.
Goro just had natural animalistic power. Okay, he didn't need no body armor. He didn't need weapons. He had his 4 arms.
But still, I mean, in the video games, it's not like Goro is the ultimate victor in Mortal Kombat. He still loses there.
I mean, that's how good of a player you gotta be. Jeez.
Oh my god.
But if you go to the backstory of Goro, he is the reason why what Outworld was winning the Mortal Kombat tournaments like 9 times in a row.
Until Cole Young came along.
Fucking Cole Young. I'd rather Goro lose to Johnny Cage, like in the first movie when he got like clobbered in the testicles, and then like Goro had more screen time in the first movie than this one.
Maybe he'll make a comeback in the sequel, Zach. Maybe.
Cannot already. He died already.
I want to know Sarah's take, because that scene was all about Cole Young overcoming his own issues and discovering what matters the most to him in order to discover his Akana. Yeah.
I feel this whole Akana thing was like unnecessary. Like, I think they were trying to pull a story and it just fell flat to me. It's like, look at what's beyond. And you're like, are you freaking kidding me?
But
the Earth is gonna, like, the Earth realm is done. Like, if we're waiting around listening to this Akana nonsense, like, we're over.
don't we live in a world now in the movies where everything has to be taken seriously? Everything has to have an explanation. Ever since The Dark Knight came out, or Batman Begins, and then The Dark Knight came out, everything has to have an explanation.
It's lazy. It's lazy storytelling when you have to have expository information spelled out, like with Sonya Blade explaining all that stuff, where you're just like, okay, I've checked out. Like when you're watching a movie and the discovery happens, like Inception, for example, right? There are little moments where they do that, but then you kind of question, you're like, did the kids' clothes change or not? You know, like, so, you know, it's like those kind of moments where you're like, oh, wait a minute. I need to look back. I need to find these Easter eggs. I need to find these clues, right? Which is why Bridgerton is amazing, because when you look back, these little clues. Just saying, Shonda Rhimes is, you know, a really great showrunner. But yeah, I think when you get into this space where, yes, because for millions of years they've been doing that. And Sonia, how have you been doing your research?
Good point. I disagree with Bridgerton because Jack and I despise it. You know what? We haven't heard from the TL Meister in a little while. Which do you prefer, TL?
I prefer this one. I mean, this is more true to what the game is about, right? I mean, what's the point of having a video game movie when you don't have the video game skills, right? So
yeah.
So I prefer this one, but I disagree with some of the points. I didn't like the action for a lot of it, because I felt like, especially Cole Young's, sorry, Sarah, because I felt like his movements were not sharp. It felt a bit weak to me. It wasn't very sharp, like, you know, like real expert martial artists do. You have very sharp movements when you compare it with. We were just talking about it the last chat, right? About the action sequences, like where we like John Wick and stuff like that. Those were real visceral, real hard action. But this one, some of his kicks and stuff look quite soft to me. And I heard you guys talking about Kano earlier.
Yeah.
I like his one-liners, but I feel like it was the writer trying to pack everything racist into one movie. Like, I'm gonna push a sombrero right up his ass until he speaks in Mexico. He speaks Spanish. I don't know, things like that. So he's like saving all these racist references and putting it in one movie.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I think that's about it. I want to thank everybody here for taking part in the conversation. Just to reaffirm, everybody kind of gave a score beforehand. So after a conversation, I want to see how it stands now. Sarah, do you still believe it's a 7.5?
I still think I'm giving it a high 7.5.
Okay, cool. Hadis?
7.5. Yeah.
Aaron?
7.5.
TL?
I'm gonna give it a 6 because a lot of the Conti, I have a lot of issues with their Conti. So many Conti problems.
Oh my God, was it the dialogue Conti? Because I was looking at the dialogue, the two-shot dialogue Conti.
There was dialogue Conti, there was movement Contis, just all over the place.
I get the Conti thing. There was one bit where I think he was talking to somebody and he had his arms crossed, and then he had his arms down, then he had his arms crossed, and I was like, hey, come on, that's such an obvious mistake.
Now you guys just being a little too picky about it.
No, that's a lot, man. Usually there's like 1, 2, and you forget about it, but this is a lot.
So what's your score, by the way, TL?
6.
Okay. Puppy Zach?
5.
Can you show your face finally, first all to see, because you have such a glorious visage?
I'm afraid fire will come out.
All right, fair enough. I'm thinking I'm going to give it
this face.
Oh, what a legend. I'm going to go with 7. I'm going to go with 7.5 as well.
Hey, we didn't recommend the movie.
Yeah, what are we watching next?
Should we get our new guest to recommend?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. All right, why not?
Yes.
So we have to take recommendations for the next movie. I'm a bit cautious because Sarah has confessed her love for Bridgerton.
Because of the writing.
So I'm
writing
hoping
has
It's not the writing, it's the framing. Most shows are written from a male perspective. So when you write about the female perspective, it feels different.
there's no action. That's my
hey,
problem.
except for the
Action,
duel.
think about it.
Oh yeah, in that sense. Yeah, I guess. But what is your recommendation then, Sarah, for something that we should watch and we'll review in the following week?
So I haven't watched this yet, but I think we should watch I Care a Lot by Rosamund Pike. She did such an amazing job in Gone Girl, and yeah, it's on Netflix, so we can all watch it.
That's true. All right, I'm looking forward to it. I know Zach enjoyed Gone Girl because Ben Affleck gets his dilly dong out. Isn't that right, Zach?
I enjoyed Emma Ratajkowski better.
Oh, there you go. That's for an entirely different reason. Excellent. If you like the movie, didn't like the movie, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you leave your score as well and recommend what we should be watching in the future. And remember, it can be a TV show. Please don't make it one of those 24 episode things where we have a week to watch it, because I can't do that in time. So movies are really what we like more than anything else. But if it's a good TV show, feel free as well. And then join the conversation when we do review it. Like, share, and subscribe as per usual. My name's Adam. See you next time.